Luis Enrique Martínez García. Spanish pronunciation, Luis Enrique Martínez García. Born 8 May 1970. Known as Luis Enrique, is a Spanish football manager and former player who is currently the head coach of Ligue 1 club Paris Saint-Germain. A versatile player with good technique, he was capable of playing in several positions, but usually played as a midfielder or forward, and was also noted for his temperament and stamina. Starting in 1991 and ending in 2004, he represented both Real Madrid and Barcelona, with both individual and team success, appearing in more than 500 official games and scoring more than 100 goals. He appeared with the Spain national team in 3 World Cups and 1 European Championship. Luis Enrique started working as a manager in 2008 with Barcelona B, before moving to Roma 3 years later. In the 2013-14 season, he managed Celta, before returning to Barcelona and winning the treble in his first year and the double in the second. In 2018, he was appointed Spain head coach for the first time, before resigning for family reasons in 2019. He reassumed the position the same year and subsequently led the team to the semi-finals of Euro 2020 and to second place in the 2020-2021 Nations League, resigning at the end of the 2022 World Cup. In July 2023, he joined French club Paris Saint-Germain, claiming 3 trophies in his first season and 4 in his second, including the first Champions League in their history. He retained the Champions League for PSG in the following season, winning his 3rd title in the competition as a manager. Club career. Luis Enrique was born in Gijón, Asturias, and began his career with local Sporting de Gijón, where he gained the nickname Lucho, after Luis Flores, a Mexican forward in the team. He then spent most of his playing days with the 2 biggest Spanish clubs, first Real Madrid for 5 seasons, and in 1996, after seeing out his contract, and notably scoring in a 5-0 home win against Barcelona in January 1995, stating later he rarely felt appreciated by the Real Madrid supporters and didn't have good memories there. He moved to their fierce rivals at the Camp Nou on a free transfer. The Catalan supporters were at first hesitant about their new acquisition, but he soon won the hearts of the Coolers, staying 8 years, eventually becoming team captain, and scoring several times in El Clásico against his former employers. He passionately celebrated at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, where he grabbed his jersey after a 25-yard strike that beat the opposing goalkeeper. Enrique scored 46 La Liga goals in his first 3 seasons with Barcelona, with the side finishing runner-up in 1997-97, and subsequently winning back-to-back domestic championship accolades. Furthermore, he was named Spanish Player of the Year by El País in the following campaign. He also scored the opening goal in the 1997 UEFA Super Cup, a 3-1 aggregate triumph against Borussia Dortmund. During his final years in Barcelona, Enrique was often injured and did not want to renew his contract. He had been offered a deal by his first club, Sporting, which he, however, declined, stating that he wouldn't be able to reach the level he demanded of himself and that he wouldn't be doing Sporting much of a favor by going there. His concerns about his level and fitness made him retire on 10 August 2004 at the age of 34, and he finished his professional career with league totals of 400 games and 102 goals, being named by Pelé as one of the top 125 greatest living footballers in March. International career. Luis Enrique played for Spain in 3 FIFA World Cups, 1994, 1998, and 2002, as well as UEFA Euro 1996, and scored 12 goals while earning 62 caps. He was also a member of the gold-winning squad at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona and made his debut for the main side on 17 April 1991, featuring for 22 minutes in a 0-2 friendly loss to Romania in Cáceres. In the 1994 World Cup, held in the United States, Enrique scored his first international goal in the round of 16 3-0 win over Switzerland in Washington, D.C. In the 2-1 quarter-final defeat against Italy at Foxborough Stadium, Mauro Tossati's elbow made contact with his face to bloody effect, but during the match, the incident went unpunished. Tossati was banned for 8 games afterwards. When Spain met Italy at Euro 2008 on 22 June to battle for a place in the semi-finals, Luis Enrique reportedly called for the team to take revenge for the 1994 World Cup incident by beating Italy. Tossati, an assistant coach with AC Milan at the time, told the newspaper Marca that he was tired of always being reminded of this incident and that he had never intended to hurt the Spaniard. At the 1998 World Cup, Enrique played a major role in a 6-1 rout at Bulgaria in the last game of the group, scoring and assisting once and also winning a penalty, but the Spaniards were eliminated nonetheless. On 5 June of the following year, he scored a hat-trick in a 9-0 win in Villarreal over San Marino in the Euro 2000 qualifiers. On 23 June 2002, Enrique retired from international football in order to give the younger players more playing time and focus only on his club. Style of play. Having occupied several positions, Luis Enrique was most noted for his exceptional versatility and consistency. He was capable of playing anywhere in midfield or along the front line, and was fielded in all positions on the pitch throughout his career, except those of central defender and goalkeeper. His usual position was as an attacking midfielder in the center of the pitch, due to his ability to link up the forwards in the midfield, or as a right winger, but he was capable of playing anywhere along the right flank, and was often deployed as an attacking fullback or wingback, or even as a left winger on occasion.
Due to his keen eye for goal and ability to make attacking runs into the box, Enrique frequently played as a forward, either in a withdrawn role as a second striker behind the team's main goal scorer, or even as an out-and-out striker or center forward. He was also used in deeper midfield roles. In addition to his playing abilities, he also stood out for his commitment, temperament, determination, and leadership. Managerial career. Barcelona B. On 26 May 2008, Luis Enrique returned to Barcelona, taking over the reins of the B team, renamed Barcelona Athletic for that season. As he succeeded longtime Barcelona teammate Pep Guardiola, he stated, "I have come home, and I finished playing here, and now I will start coaching here." In his second season, he found success, helping the club return to Segunda División after an absence of 11 years. In mid-March 2011, Enrique announced he would leave at the end of the campaign, despite still having 2 years left on his contract. He led the side to the playoffs, but they were ineligible for promotion. Roma. On 8 June 2011, Luis Enrique reached an agreement with Italian Serie A club Roma to become the Giallorossi's new head coach. He signed a 2-year contract, being joined by a staff of 4 members, including Ivan Della Peña, who played 2 years for crosstown rivals Lazio as technical collaborator. Roma were eliminated from the UEFA Europa League by Slovan Bratislava amid great discussion of the substitution of Francesco Totti for Stefano Okaka. The capital-based side also lost their first game in the domestic league against Cagliari, making it just the 3rd time that they lost the opener in 18 years. Even though he still had 2 years remaining on his contract, Enrique decided to leave Roma at the end of the season after failure to qualify for any European competition. Celta. On 8 June 2013, Luis Enrique became Celta de Vigo's new manager, replacing former national teammate Abel Resino. He led the Galicians to the 9th position in his only season, highlights including a 2-0 home win against Real Madrid that ended the opposition's possibilities of winning the league title. On 16 May 2014, Enrique announced that he would be leaving Celta. Barcelona. Enrique with Barcelona at the 2015 UEFA Super Cup. On 19 May 2014, Luis Enrique returned to Barcelona as a manager on a 2-year deal. He was recommended by sporting director Andoni Suparita, his former national teammate. His first competitive match was a 3-0 home league win over Elche, where he handed debuts to new signings Claudio Bravo, Jeremy Mathieu, and Ivan Rakitic, and gave youth products Munir El Haddadi, Rafinha, and Sandro Ramirez their maiden league appearances for the club, while summer signing Luis Suarez was unavailable for selection due to suspension.
Enrique suffered his first defeat in the competition on October 25, 2014, away against Real Madrid, and although Barcelona had a successful run in the year, his management came under scrutiny because of his tactics involving several lineup changes in consecutive games. Moreover, a quarrel with Lionel Messi and other players further accentuated the team's poor form. Amid reports of dressing room unrest, and after a defeat to Real Sociedad, Zubizarreta was dismissed in early January, weakening Enrique's standing at the club. A significant upturn in form followed, as a result of the coach deciding on a settled lineup with a tweak in the formation. Messi and Neymar now played as inverted wingers, while Suarez was the lone striker. He soon equaled Guardiola's record of 11 consecutive victories, while the side went on to beat Atletico Madrid and Villarreal convincingly in the Copa del Rey to advance to the final. In the domestic league, after 8 wins in 9 matches, they returned to the top of the table after 15 weeks. On 21 April 2015, Enrique recorded his 42nd win after 50 games in charge of Barcelona with a 2-0 victory over Paris Saint-Germain, the best record of any manager. He went on to lead the club to the final of the UEFA Champions League and, on May 17th, led it to its 23rd national championship with 1 match to spare following a 1-0 win at the Vicente Calderón against Atletico Madrid. On June 6th, having earlier won the domestic cup against Athletic Bilbao by the same score, the team sealed a treble with a 3-1 defeat of Juventus in the Champions League final in Berlin, and 3 days later he signed a new contract until 2017. On 11 August 2015, Barcelona won the 2015 UEFA Super Cup 5-4 against Sevilla. On December 7th against Villanovense in the Copa del Rey round of 32, Enrique decided against bringing on a new player following Mathieu's injury with 12 minutes to go, even though 2 replacements could still be made, as the score was 6-1 at that time, and the manager said he did not want to risk introducing players to the game without adequate warm-up. In his first 2 seasons, Enrique rotated his goalkeepers, with Bravo playing league games and Marc-Andre ter Stegen playing cup and European matches. Both players, however, expressed opposition to this policy. A second double was achieved on May 22, 2016, following a 2-0 Copa del Rey victory over Sevilla after extra time, which the team played more than 50 minutes with 1 player less, following the dismissal of Tadier Mascherano. On March 1, 2017, Enrique announced that he would not continue as team manager after June 30th on expiration of his contract. Spain. Enrique managing Spain in 2020. Luis Enrique was named coach of the Spain national team on July 9, 2018, replacing former club and country teammate Fernando Hierro. His first match in charge occurred on September 8th, and he led the side to a 2-1 win against England in the UEFA Nations League at Wembley Stadium.
In November 2019, Enrique rejoined the national team after having quit his post for personal reasons 4 months prior. Speaking to the press after his return, a visibly angry Enrique alleged his friend and colleague of 6 years, Robert Moreno, who managed the national team after his resignation, was disloyal and wanted to hold on to his interim position. When Enrique selected a 24-man Euro 2020 squad, despite being allowed 26, that contained no Real Madrid players, he was accused of having an anti-Madrid bias. Several high-profile omissions from his squad were seen as a way for him to assert control over the dressing room and the team. However, he led Spain to the tournament's semifinals, in which they lost against Italy on penalties after a 1-1 draw. At the 2022 World Cup, Enrique's team were defeated in the round of 16 following another shootout, 3-0 against Morocco. In the wake of this performance, he stepped down from his position. Paris Saint-Germain. On 5 July 2023, Luis Enrique officially became the manager of Ligue 1 club Paris Saint-Germain, succeeding Christophe Galtier. He signed a 2-year contract. He won a domestic treble in his first season, also reaching the Champions League semifinals. PSG renewed their domestic supremacy in 2024-25, losing no matches in the first 28 and winning the league with 6 to spare. Enrique also led them to retain the Coupe de France and to the final of the Champions League, where they beat Inter Milan 5-0 to complete a continental treble, the first by a French club, while he became the second manager to achieve this twice. He also guided the side to the final of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, the first edition of the expanded competition, but lost 3-0 to Chelsea, ending hopes of claiming 7 trophies in a calendar year for the first time in history. On 28 April 2026, Luis Enrique secured his 50th Champions League victory in just 77 matches, surpassing the previous record set by Guardiola, who reached the milestone in 80. A month later, his side secured the Ligue 1 title with a 2-0 victory over Lens, marking Enrique's third league title in the competition. He then guided Paris Saint-Germain to a 4-3 penalty shootout victory over Arsenal in the UEFA Champions League final, following a 1-1 draw after extra time, securing the club's second consecutive title in the competition. Manager profile. Tactics.
One of the most successful managers of his generation, Luis Enrique's incisive and direct football featuring quick transitions from defense to attack, though reliant on the front three of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, was in sharp contrast to the possession-heavy approach of Barcelona managers immediately prior to him. Statistically, Luis Enrique's Barcelona, in his first 2 years at the club, were better than Guardiola's. Comparatively, his team had scored more goals and conceded fewer, had a higher win percentage, and won competitions at a similar rate. Guardiola hailed them as the best counter-attacking team in the world. In his first 2 seasons at the Camp Nou, Enrique fielded a 4-3-3 formation. Results improved after he stopped changing his starting 11. The team's creative outlet was the wings, with Neymar and Messi as inside forwards flanking Suarez, a departure from their usual playing style. Ivan Rakitic played a pivotal role in transitioning defense to attack, and Andreas Iniesta's influence withered, while Xavi, the club's captain, reduced to a part-time substitute role. With overlapping fullbacks offering width, Neymar and Messi often drifted infield, encouraging midfielders Rakitic and Iniesta to move into channels and attack in and around the box. In his third and final year, struggling for form and results, the manager switched to a 3-4-3 offense, morphing into a 4-4-2 defensive shape, reminiscent of Antonio Conte's Premier League winners Chelsea more than Johan Cruyff's dream team, with Messi at the top of a midfield diamond, acting as chief playmaker, and Sergio Busquets, the sole-holding defensive midfielder, responsible for breaking the first line of opposition press. The system favored Neymar in particular, who played as a left forward, often cutting inside to link with lone striker Suarez, or to create an overlap in the final third, sharing creative responsibilities with Messi. This change in formation was instrumental as they overcame 0-4, the biggest first-leg deficit in Champions League history, by defeating PSG 6-1 in the second leg. However, the physical and tactical discipline required to sustain a 3-4-3 proved controversial.
Enrique continued to favor 4-3-3 for Spain, and at times the riskier 3-4-3 when the situation demanded, with the sole defensive midfielder in the pivot being the only commonality. Lacking the front three he had at Barcelona, his football retained positional and vertical aspects, though with box-to-box central midfielders like Koke or Pedri offering attacking thrust while his center forward dropped deep to bring wide forwards into play, accompanied by overlapping fullbacks who offer width. Whilst pressing oppositions high up, the center forward, usually Alvaro Morata, screened the opposition defensive midfielder as wide forwards engaged opposition centre-backs. Spain's defensive midfielder, often Busquets, tracked the run of opposition attackers when they dropped deep, sometimes pressing higher than the team's other central midfielders. In possession, Spain usually started playing out from the back to draw the opposition in, with Thiago Alcantara or any other central midfielder dropping alongside Busquets to help progress the ball forward. Should the opposition press aggressively, the fullbacks linked up to offer additional passing options as the centre-backs go deep and narrow. Wide forwards made diagonal runs into the midfield to link play with those in front of them. Once the ball was progressed out of the defense, they adjusted their attacking rhythm to match the opposition's defensive structure, either opting for a speedy transition against a higher block or relying on a more positional approach play against a lower block. To mix it up, Spain initially played short passes in the defensive third before playing long to the center forward, who then attempted to bring outfield runners into play. Wing play was used to stretch opposition and create spaces infield, or create crossing opportunities, especially against compact defenses. I do not treat all of my players the same, just as I do not treat all of my children the same. I have negotiated things with the players. On some things I have been permissive, and on some I have been demanding. There are some rules that everyone must follow. That is one of my principles. Luis Enrique, speaking to the press after falling out with Messi in January 2020 film.
Known for his brave and fearless management style, Enrique is quick to remove any influence that undermines his authority. Reports of his altercation with Messi at Barcelona and with Totti at Roma, both of whom wield considerable power at their respective clubs, being prime examples of that. His flexibility in adopting different playing styles, while at odds with the possession-based style synonymous with Barcelona, furthered this narrative as he continued to remain unfazed in the face of criticism and pressure. Royal Spanish Football Federation President Luis Rubiales, on the back of 3 consecutive unsuccessful tournaments, appointed him to curb ill discipline and complacency in the squad, stating, "We are looking for an incontestable leader who sets out the path and nobody then strays from that path." Reception. Messi described Luis Enrique as one of the 2 best managers he played for, the other being Guardiola. While Guardiola maintained that though he took on many great footballing sides as a head coach, Enrique's Barcelona and Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool were the best he ever faced. In comparing the coaches he played for, Spain international Alcantara said, "Luis Enrique has the analytical positioning of Pep and the aggressiveness of Klopp," while also praising Enrique's communication skills in conveying his footballing ideas. He is regarded as one of the best managers in the world of his era. Relations with journalists. Luis Enrique had a strained relationship with journalists. Endorsements. Luis Enrique was sponsored by sportswear company Nike and appeared in commercials for the brand. In a global advertising campaign in the run-up to the 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Japan, he starred in a secret tournament commercial branded Scorpion KO, directed by Terry Gilliam, appearing alongside footballers such as Luis Figo, Thierry Henry, Hidetoshi Nakata, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Totti, with former player Eric Cantona, the tournament referee. Personal life. Luis Enrique married his longtime partner Elena Cuyel on 27 December 1997. Their youngest daughter, Zana, died of bone cancer at age 9 on 29 August 2019. After retiring from football, Enrique lived for a while in Australia to practice surfing. He took part in the 2005 edition of the New York City Marathon, finished the Amsterdam Marathon in 2006, the Firenze Marathon in 2007, and the Marathon des Sables in 2008, while also entering and finishing Frankfurt Ironman in 2007. He was due to take part in the Klagenfurt Ironman competition in July 2008, but eventually declined due to his engagement as manager of Barcelona B. Honors. Player. Real Madrid. La Liga 1995-1996, Copa del Rey 1992-1993, Supercopa de España 1993, Barcelona, La Liga 1997-1998, Copa del Rey 1996-1997, Supercopa de España 1996, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup 1997, UEFA Super Cup 1997, Spain U23, Summer Olympic Games 1992. Individual.
La Liga Breakthrough Player, 1990-91. ESM Team of the Year, 1997-98. FIFA 100. Manager. Barcelona. La Liga, 2014-15, 2015-16. Copa del Rey, 2014-15, 2015-16, 2016-17. Supercopa de España, 2016. UEFA Champions League, 2014-15. UEFA Super Cup, 2015. FIFA Club World Cup, 2015. Paris Saint-Germain, Ligue 1, 2023-2024, 2025-2026, Coupe de France, 2023-2024, 2025-2026, Trophée des Champions, 2023-2024, 2025-2026, UEFA Champions League, 2025-2026, UEFA Super Cup, 2015, FIFA Intercontinental Cup, 2015, FIFA Club World Cup runner-up, 2025. Spain, UEFA Nations League runner-up, 2020-2021. Individual, La Liga Coach of the Year, 2015, FIFA World Coach of the Year, 2015, IFFS World's Best Club Coach, 2015-2025, World Soccer Manager of the Year, 2015-2025, La Liga Manager of the Month, May 2016, UNFP League 1 Manager of the Year, 2024-2025, Men's Johan Cruyff Trophy, 2025, The Best FIFA Football Coach, 2025, Globe Soccer Awards Coach of the Year, 2025.